Hi everyone, my name is Kenji Fukaya. I'm a mathematician and my job is studying mathematics and teaching mathematics. I am now in Stanford University, Yao Center and BIMSA and I came to China last September before I was in the United States in Simon Center. Maybe multiplication. Infinity is always my favorite. Let me choose I. I is square root of -1. And the reason I like I is something like I is conceptually more difficult. It's just, as a number it's simple. E is something more complicated. I can never remember 2.7 blah blah blah. So my favorite is to something which is conceptually more difficult but numerically easy. Crayola is always very good, but I never have experienced other kind of chalk. But of course, chalk is very important for mathematics. I think this blackboard is very nice. For this nice blackboard, it doesn't make so much difference. I remember that when I was in Simon Center, Simon Center at the beginning was a good blackboard, but it takes some time and the blackboard was not renewed. And the quality of blackboard gets very worse, and still one can use better for Hagoromo, but Crayola was very bad. And this blackboard, it looks so nice, so it doesn't make so many difference. Both is okay. Riemann is my hero. Before Riemann, there are a lot of kind of calculations. For example, Euler calculates many things and many formulas and many important things. But Riemann is the kind of first person who cook up some concepts to explain many formulas they have. And in a sense, after 20 centuries, when mathematics get more abstract, what is more important is to have some concept for language or to unify many interesting formulas. And Riemann is something like a first person who goes into that kind of world. I like both, but maybe reading a book is my favorite all my life. In China, it is difficult to find a good raw material for Japanese cooking. So recently I just did some simple cooking like noodles, soba. I think I like just thinking in my head. I know there are some people that who start calculating or kind of checking examples and to do some kind of experimental things. And then after a lot of calculations, they found something. But that's not my way. Probably I am a bit too lazy to move my hand or to be in front of the papers to do some experimental calculations. My favorite is always just to try to make it as short as possible so that it fits in my head and just go outside to think. Exam is something like you need to pass, but it's not so really important things. In some case, we need to test whether we really understand it. But in mathematics, I never feel that that kind of thing is important. But maybe if I learn something which is not so much the strong area I am doing, then maybe taking an exam might be a good way. When I was in Japan, I was sometimes a member of global COE programs. And I had the occasion to talk like some people working on biology or kind of people working on financial things or computer science. And they have some problems which is very much different from usually for this pure mathematician had been studying. And so far my interest is in just usual pure mathematics, and the changes outside is mainly on the physics. It's a kind of old friend of mathematics. And when I heard from those different areas, I feel that there are some different kinds of mathematics needed to do these kind of things. Something I really want to do is just to find some extremely new kinds of mathematics and to do something really new. Kind of no mathematics are suitable for that kind of things. But honestly speaking, I feel I get a bit too old to do something in that level new. So if I am maybe 20s, maybe I try to go some completely different areas. But now, maybe I feel I should be a bit moderate to do something I can. Still very hard problem, but yeah, not that kind of things. I mean, the kind of problem I mentioned is maybe among the Millennium problems. What is most related is some kind of P equal NTP problem or kind of Navier-Stokes equations or kind of thing like that. Because most of this very sophisticated and very kind of mathematics, very abstract and a lot of structures, so far does not so much interact with that kind of things. But as I said, that to be involved in that kind of thing is a bit still dangerous. I want to be a bit more kind of a problem which I had been working on for a long time. So among the Millennium problems, something about the quantum field theory, or something about the algebraic geometry or differential geometry is something which I feel I can continue working. Topology is basically a geometric things, so it is about figures. Main important area to study in topology is the higher dimensional things. And you just see that from the visuals you can directly see, then it is too much far away from our everyday experience, and there is no way to have a correct feeling. And the algebraic way is kind of one of the few ways we can just make sure that what we are doing is real and correct. So in that sense, one needs both. I want to more emphasize on the geometric side to understand something more geometric, but for this purpose, one needs something like more kind of down to earth or something more explicit things, and algebraic thing is the only way we have some nice feeling. If you just look these kind of very simple things like a surface, you see that there are two holes. So you can just say that this is something called the genus is 2. So this is very much clear because you can actually visualize this picture. You can see the pictures. Then if you go to higher dimensions, so you have this kind of 10-dimensional spaces. Then we have to think about what is hole. And it is already a difficult question. From this visual ways, you can see that the number of holes does not change when you deform these spaces. But this is, at least for the dimension 2 concerns, you can just visualize, so nobody need to kind of complain that it is, whether it is true or not. But you want to cook up some similar notions in higher dimensions like holes, then you have to start wondering that whether this number of something higher dimensional analog of number of holes is kind of independent of the deformation. You have the spaces which quantity is preserved, and this became already non-trivial. And in a situation when you can visualize everything, that kind of thing is something which looks obvious, but maybe you need a proof. But in higher dimensions, it is no longer kind of true. That what is true or not is already impossible because we cannot never look it. So then we need some algebra, and what is the number of holes? So that's how this algebraic method is started in higher dimensions. So thank you for watching, and I hope you will like mathematics and have a good journey in the mathematics. Bye-bye.